Hey viewers, welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And when we left you on our 5 pence video, we were talking about how the evolution of the 5 pence occurred, how it went from shillings and 6 pence. And of course this is the English shilling and the Scottish shilling. And then of course this is the 6 pence coin, which was worth essentially 2.5, half of a shilling. So these, and when they moved over to decimalization in 1971, these coins here were worth 20 to the dollar, or a nickel, or 5 cents, or 5 new pence. And this one was worth 2.5 new pence. And then we said they came out, of course, with the 5 new pence, and that's what they replaced them with. So in our prior video, we talked about how they got to the 5 new pence. And of course, this is a 1970. It first came out in 1968. So they actually started making the 5 new pence before they switched completely over to decimalization in 1971. They started making it in 1968. And this, of course, is a 1970. Well, they had the 5 new pence because they wanted to make sure it was compared to this one, which was worth 1/20th of the old pound sterling, but then became worth, it was worth 12 old pence, but now it became worth 5 new pence. So the shilling was kept in place, and we talked about how they were exactly the same size. Well, the 5 new pence coin was great, but then they decided, let's quit calling it the new pence. Let's take the shillings out of circulation. And so they took the shillings out of circulation in 1990. And they also came out with a coin to replace the 5 new pence. And they called it the 5 pence coin. So they took the 5 new pence and they just made it the 5 pence. So see how they just used the same design almost completely. Let's make this a little smaller so you can see it better, or I can see it better. And they took the new out and put the 5 in, left everything else the same. You see it's a slightly smaller 5 than this one, but these coins are still the same size. And so in 1988 we have a 5 pence coin. It doesn't say new on the back anymore. Well, that was great, but then they decided not only did they want to make the 5 pence coin smaller, they also wanted to make it, not only did they want to make it, change it from new pence, they wanted to make it smaller. And that's what they did with this one. So this is the 1994, but it first came out in 1990. And so for 1 year, they actually had a small one and a large one that came out in the same mint set. But in 1994, by 1994, they had this coin. And if we look at the back, we see that it is the same back, right? What they've done is they've left the back and they've just made it a lot smaller. And it still says 5 pence. It still has the crowned, highlighted U.S. nickel keeps trying to jump in. It still has the crowned thistle on it. And it went from essentially 5.65 grams to 3.25 grams. So this is less than half the weight, but it's of the same value, still 1/20th of a British pound. Now that's the equivalent essentially of 6 US cents. So we will put you next to each other. This 5 pence is worth more than this 5 cents because this is worth 6 plus pennies and this is only worth 5 US pennies if you wanted to convert them. Now, who did the back of these? We talked about how this front portrait is the Raphael David Makhlouf portrait. And we can see the RDM right down in here, RDM Raphael David Makhlouf. Well, the back of this coin was done by Christopher Ironside. And Christopher Ironside did the back of all these 5 pence coins from the beginning. So this 5 pence coin here still has the same exact back that Christopher Ironside first put on the coin, or engraved for the coin in 1968. Of course, the queen has changed a little bit. These are both, again, this Raphael David Makhlouf portrait in the so-called third portrait. So that's what we have. So we've given you 2 different videos kind of stringing together the different coins that we showed here originally, and well, let's put them all back. And so we've got shillings, we got new pence, we've got nickels, and we got another shilling. That's the Scottish shilling. And then we have a sixpence, and they all kind of have an interesting relationship to this 5 pence coin from 1994 in the center. Well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.